Good evening, everybody. This is your host, Odd Job Entertainment. I'm bringing you another YouTube video. Let's take a look at the stream, make sure that things are coming through the way that they are supposed to. How are we doing tonight? It's alive! Yes! Yep. Can you hear me, Mr. Aero Capital Fellow? Okay. Alright, cool. And then I played just a second of the Inside Star Citizen we'll be watching tonight. Let's see, let's get this mic adjusted a little better. Good. So, big news. I got myself a car. And if you are very attentive, you may have noticed oh shoot, now I'm scrolling through. I need to keep this up because I need to keep reading about it. I got myself an Ioniq 5. It has been a lot of fun driving this car. I'm really liking the EV lifestyle. There are some pain points. It was, and let's talk about it. So let's get this pulled up so that everybody can see what I'm talking about. So I got myself one of these guys. Hyundai Ioniq 5. I got the limited all-wheel drive, so the top trim luxury model. It is in this cyber gray color, so it's actually the one that you'll see in a lot of the advertisements from Hyundai. And you know, I wasn't going to be too picky on the color. I just really did not like the digital teal. So that's this thing. From some angles, I think it looks really good, but there's a lot where it ends up looking kind of like those early 2000s cars where you'd have like a forest green up top and then silver trim. I just do not like that combination. So I was going to get black, white or cyber gray. Ended up getting the cyber gray. That was the one that they had available, so I'm happy with the color. It looks really good, and being that it is the all-wheel drive version, it's got 320 horsepower, and it really puts it down fast. It is a very speedy car. It is like you think about going and then suddenly you're there. It's a night and day difference compared to what my Ford Focus was. Really liking it so far. 0 to 60 in 4 seconds. There are some things that I haven't liked about the experience of getting the car, and those have to do primarily with the dealership. So, I'm from Utah. I got this car through the Ken Garff downtown dealership in Salt Lake City, and Braden is my primary sales guy, and he's been really good to deal with. He's followed up with me several times to make sure that all the problems got taken care of, but he wasn't actually there the day of the sale. He helped me get things kind of situated and ready for the day of, but he wasn't there himself. I was handed off to one of his coworkers, and I don't want to say this guy's name because I'm not going to say very many nice things about him, but just did not give me a whole lot of information about the car. Getting home, I realized, well, shoot, I don't know anything about charging this thing. Where do I go? What apps do I need? You know, how do I find these charging stations? A lot of the basics about owning an EV, just still had no clue. And then I asked a lot of questions while we were doing the test drive. Some of them were a little more in-depth than I would expect a sales associate to know, but a lot of them were really basic stuff that someone who's trying to sell the car, and certainly someone who owns one and has had one for a while, should probably know. But I got a lot of conflicting information and a lot of bad information, and that part was just really frustrating. So, the day of, not a great experience, but I've really liked owning the car so far. The next problem that I ran into, though, was getting the window tint applied. Had to get up early in the morning, take the car to the dealership. They were going to keep it for the day, do the interior, exterior treatment, apply the window tint, and they were supposed to do a sun tint strip across the windshield. So if we look at this guy here, it's supposed to just be a strip of tint that goes across the top. Not super necessary. In the future, I think I'll probably just go without it. But they forgot to do it when I dropped off the car. And thankfully they didn't bill it to me, but this had been in the notes several times, like, hey, I want limo and legal and the sun visor done. And they didn't do it. So I called up Braden. Braden got it fixed, and he got me set up with a local office to get the tint applied correctly. And I went there, and they put it down to the ASL line or AS1 line. I don't know. It's a line on the windshield that demarks the lowest point you can have for the tint. And on the Ioniq 5, it's actually really low. And so it's like a third of the windshield is now tinted, and it's at a 5% level. And on one hand, I don't think it looks good from the outside. It looks like your windshield is just like really itty bitty. And for two, on the inside, it's like right at my eye line. So every time I look up at a street light, I'm looking through the tint. If I stare straight forward, then I'm not. But if you go over a bump, it's enough to like put my eyes in and then out of the tint. And so it's really, really annoying. So part of the mission for tomorrow is to take it back to the tint guys and have them redo it so that it's just a thinner strip across the top. But aside from that, those are my only complaints, and those are really just about the car buying experience. The experience of owning the car, though, is phenomenal. It's a very comfortable car. I love having ventilated and heated seats. Oh my gosh. The Focus that I had, it had heated seats, but it didn't have the vented seats. And I am using that all the time. It is the best for anti-SWAS protection, and it is, like, I don't think I can live without it now. It is such a good feature. And it's so simple. It just blows air through the seat, and it just keeps your butt cool. It's really nice. Because it is the limited trim, it's got the 10-speaker Bose surround system, and it is crystal clear. It is probably the best sound system I've personally ever listened to, which doesn't set a super high bar, because the second best system is just the headphones that I'm wearing. These are the Odyssey Maxwells, so they are good headphones, right? I get myself really nice stuff for my gaming experience, but still, I mean, we're just talking headphones, right? The audio in this car, really nice. And, another thing that it has kind of in common with the Focus is it has a sport mode and it has a normal driving mode. And when I would try it on the Focus, it just didn't seem to really do all that much. It would hold the revolutions higher before it would switch gears. But there's a tangible difference on the Ioniq 5. When you're in the normal mode, it's a very smooth progression through speed. And you don't, like, you can throw your head back. You can definitely hit higher accelerations and make it a little uncomfortable, but for the most part, it's very well tuned so that it's speeding up, but you're not feeling like you're thrown back all the time, at least in normal. Throw it into sport mode, though, and it is all out. It is ripping fast. So it's been a lot of fun. it's a learning curve too. I am realizing that it's very easy to speed in this thing, so I'm having to be much more conscientious about the number on my speedometer to make sure that I'm not breaking the law or being unsafe. And I love the driving assist features. The highway, what is it called? Yeah, highway driving assist, lane keep assist, all those things. Never had a car before that had them. Now I do, and it is so nice to be able to relax a little bit while you're on the highway. I'm a good driver, so I'm still paying attention, and I'm still doing things the way I'm supposed to, got my hands on the wheel. But it's nice to know that the car is doing a lot of the surveillance for me, so I don't have to stress about that nearly as much. And it makes driving a much more relaxing experience. So, I got the car. It is great. I love the EV lifestyle. Now that I've learned all the basics, I'm having a lot of fun, and I'm really looking forward to every drive now. It is just so much fun to get in this thing and just zip around. I have a charger coming tomorrow in the mail, so I'll be able to do level 2 charging here at the house. So I won't even have to deal with all the snooty Tesla drivers at the superchargers. So that's pretty cool too. I've only gone to a charger one time, and I got barked at because I did it wrong by one of the people that was there, and so I kind of like tucked tail and ran. I was embarrassed. It's like, I'm sorry, I'm still learning. Well, maybe you're not a snooty Tesla driver, but I've definitely run into some snooty Tesla drivers. But I am loving this car. It's so much fun. Oh my gosh, it's so much fun. So, that's the update on the car. We do have some updates on Star Citizen. We have Inside Star Citizen Alpha 4.3 patch report. And I'm interested to see what is going on here, because Salty Mike put out his own video, Game Dev Apology. So I'm a little nervous about what they're going to talk about about what they're going to talk about here, because if it's another one of those game dev is hard thing, I think I'm going to be a little peeved. But let's get right into it. Let's see what it is. Wrong. That's wrong. They've always been an issue at the Outpost. I don't think that we had a patch where it was just freight elevators in our hangars. I think they've always been at the Outpost too, which means that they've always been a problem. Shoot, no video, no volume on video. Okay, thanks for letting me know. Oh, yeah, so while I'm fixing this, let's talk about why I had to cancel stream last week. Battlefield 6 requires that you turn on secure boot in order to play it. And when I tried to do that, it made it so that my computer wouldn't post and it would just give me a black screen. Now, what I think was actually happening was it was actually posting, and it may have even been getting all the way into Windows, but the display driver wasn't being initiated. So no signal was ever being sent to the monitor. That was a major pain in the butt, because on one hand, how do you fix a computer when you can't see anything going on, right? So that was a problem. And then the other problem is, well, how do I fix that issue with the graphics driver? And try to imagine what this would be like. You're trying to collect information as you go, right? All I see is this black screen. I don't know what's going on. So my first thought is, well, I changed the setting in the BIOS, so clearly I screwed something up in the BIOS. And so I made myself a BIOS flash utility with one of my USB sticks. I have a small little laptop that I can use as a backup PC, which, thank goodness I had that in the house, that at least I could get some work done while my PC was down. But then when I would try to flash the BIOS, it's not flashing. And by this point, I had tried many things. I had tried resetting CMOS, I've unplugged my computer, pressed the power button, tried to drain it of all its power. I've done everything you can think of to try and get the BIOS to recover without doing the flash utility. So the flash utility was kind of like my Hail Mary, trying to just get this thing to work. But when you would press the flash BIOS button, it just didn't do anything. Well, I was using a USB 3.0 stick, which doesn't have the widest compatibility with BIOS flash utilities. So I had to go to my parents' house, borrow a USB 2.0 stick. Then when I get home, I am able to flash the BIOS, and I'm able to flash the BIOS and get my PC into Windows again. Hallelujah, right? But I've still got this issue of Secure Boot not being activated, so I can't play the Battlefield beta. So, excuse me, sorry, got some burps. I might die on screen. That wouldn't be good. So I start doing research on like every component that I have in my PC, and eventually I find out that there is a firmware issue on RTX 30 series of cards that makes it so that if you enable Secure Boot, it might not activate the display ID, is what I think it said. So basically, with specifically my generation of graphics card, there's an issue where when you turn Secure Boot on, it just doesn't start the graphics card, is what it sounds like. And it's a very simple fix, and it uses an official tool from NVIDIA, but at no point over the course of owning this card was I ever made aware of this. It's not like NVIDIA ever sent me an email saying, hey, you need to do this to update your GPU firmware. And I never saw any major announcements for it, so I don't know how this went under my radar, but really important for if you're trying to activate Secure Boot. I download, I run the tool, it updates the firmware, and then the very next time that I turn on Secure Boot, it works. But by that point, I had spent 2 days stressing about my PC. Not a fun time. But that was why I wasn't able to do stream last week, because I had the brilliant idea of doing a BIOS change at 6:30 with a start time for the stream of 7 p.m. So I really just hosed myself there. There's no way that stream was ever going to happen. That was a total blunder on my part. Should not have been touching anything with the BIOS 30 minutes before stream. Probably should have just not tried to play Battlefield at all that night. But hindsight is 2020. I didn't realize that it was going to be an issue. It was. It's fixed now. We're going to play Battlefield tonight. I've been able to successfully play it over that weekend after I did get it fixed. I have a couple videos that may incorporate some footage from that, but anywho, on with the show. This should be working. Since the audio wasn't working, Jared was just talking about the elevator in the room.
While certainly not perfect, these tend...
Alright, so I just played a few seconds. How does that sound? Let's see. Okay, sound is good? Alright, good. If it makes you feel better, I passed out on the couch waiting for the stream to start and just thought I missed the stream. I am sorry, Mr. Arrow Capital Fellow. I did a YouTube post saying that it was canceled, and I announced on Discord. There's only so many things that I have in my wheelhouse to be able to notify people. It's not the greatest system. But you didn't miss it. It's here tonight.
To operate better than the ones out in the wilderness at, say, outposts, which, like many other things in the verse, tended to compound their issues over time the longer they were left to run. Now, of all the known issues with all the freight elevators in the game, Most tend to revolve around simple things like, it just doesn't work, and bigger problems like, all my items have vanished and they're now lost forever, which itself can often tie into other issues with things like long-term persistence, which we're gonna have an SCL on with Benoit soon to discuss some new developments there.
Poor Benoit, man. Every time there's an issue, they bring him out of his office and it's like, Benoit, you need to help us put out the fire. They're angry. The players are asking for refunds. They're upset. You need to help us, man. And Benoit is always the voice of reason that gets us to calm down a little bit. Poor guy. That's a stressful position.
So if it's okay with you, we're gonna stick to freight elevators for the time being. Now at this point, I'm not really telling you anything that most active players don't already know. But it's important to note that these issues have been egregious enough that we'd already started a directed repair initiative months ago. It's just not completed yet. Obviously. Maybe super obviously.
Is he talking about the
transit? As with transit,
factor?
When working these issues,
Yes.
we try really hard to avoid what are known as hack fixes and focus instead on trying to uncover what is ultimately the root cause that will create all this instability underneath. And that process can often seem like absolutely nothing is happening for days or even weeks at a time. So last month, what happened with Race for Stanton? Well, sometimes changing how we use old features can be just as painful as adding a bunch of new ones. With a higher concurrency in daily active users than any patch this year, large numbers of players were driven from their private freight elevators in their personal hangars to the more troublesome ones out in the PU. Statistically rare states became common, and less common issues became fertilized and grew into bigger, unavoidable ones. Although in many cases, this still took hundreds or even thousands of players using each freight elevator to manifest a single issue. Now, like with transit before it, or...
Alright, so I'll give them a little bit of grace. I have seen more people participating in Star Citizen lately than any other time in my history as a player. And the way that I measure that is, of course, how many players that I am friends with are actively participating in the game. How many people do I see are logged in and playing when I am? And it has been getting bigger and bigger as these patches have gone on. And I do think that CIG has made a lot of things better over this past year. So I'll give them that. And with that in mind, it does make sense that with this increase of concurrency, some of these issues will be more statistically relevant. But I mean, come on. We've known that these were an issue for so long. And it feels like at points they were pretending that it's not an issue, that it was a resolved issue, or that they never knew it was an issue. So those aspects are very frustrating, because when you are submitting issue council reports on elevators saying, hey, there's an issue here, and those get ignored, it's very demoralizing as a player. It's like, are these things ever going to get fixed then? And it's not just the outposts either. I don't think that I have had more than one working freight elevator doing contested zones in any of the times that I've done it. Most of the time you get to the end of a contested zone and you just see piles and piles of ship components because no one was able to extract them. So that is very aggravating, to put in the risk to get the reward and then not get the reward.
The infamous 30K issues of old, who remembers those? The issues you encounter in the PU are not always due to one or two bugs, but often dozens and dozens of underlying conditions beneath and around it, which throwing thousands and thousands of players at have helped us address more successfully than ever before. And since the release of Alpha 4.2.1 and up until the recording of this video, we've identified the root causes of 44 individual freight elevator issues, with 20 of them being classified as blockers or critical, and almost all of them with causes only revealed by running thousands of people into them over and over and over again throughout this event. Now, in a phrase that should be very familiar to our software engineer enthusiasts out there, as we work to fix each issue we encountered, the resolution would often reveal another lying in wait underneath. But this is a good thing, yeah? We did all this intentionally to force...
Okay, yes, it is a good thing. It's like peeling back layers of an onion. You don't know how many problems there are until you really find all of them. And you don't know how many layers there are until you keep peeling them back. So, again, I'll give them credit, like, something that seems very simple oftentimes has a multifaceted cause that is not as easy to tackle. Alright, fair enough. And again, higher concurrency, I could see how that would help them get more data. I really just hope our pain was not in vain and that they make good on this and really fix these kinds of things, because this last patch was very difficult to want to get through all 4 factions. I've only gotten through 2 of them so far, and I'm kind of dreading finishing the rest. I've been waiting for them to release an update. I'm predicting that the event is going to continue into 4.3. I don't know for sure that it is, but if it doesn't, I've got my Hurston done, so I know I'll get the armor, and I've got the skins for the most part that I wanted. I did Crusader and Hurston, and I've got some of Microtech done. So I'm good to call it here. I don't want to keep going if it doesn't change. Hopefully it does, though, and then it was actually a pretty cool event to do, so I'll finish it out if it's fixed.
Progress so we can finally fix freight elevators like we did 30K and are still doing with transit? No. Now, while the project will definitely benefit from what elevators like we did 30K, this intentionally to force progress, the resolution would often reveal another lying in wait underneath. But this is a good thing, yeah? We did all this intentionally to force progress so we can finally fix freight elevators like we did 30K
right,
and are still doing with transit.
I misunderstood what he's saying. I was going to be kind of upset.
No. Now, while the project will definitely benefit from what happened long-term with all the fixes and hardening that's been going in and that will continue to go in throughout Alpha 4.3 and beyond, the answer to what really happened isn't particularly exciting or salacious or any different than what I imagine most of you already suspected. We knew there'd be issues like there have been, but we underestimated how they'd compound on top of one another at higher stresses. It's been a sometimes frustrating process for everyone on both sides of the project. But at the same time, we're super proud of the content and cadence we've achieved this year, and of the strides all of our teams are making to make this the most compelling year of Star Citizen gameplay yet. For every single step backwards, I truly believe we're taking multiple strides forward, and the overall improvements to the experience along the way are what keep many of us motivated to continue going month after month. And with this new Onyx Facilities content drop being spread out over multiple releases, we're going to continue taking the time to improve existing experiences along the way. And to that end, as some of you probably have already heard, it was in the loading screen and whatnot, we're also going to go ahead and extend the Race for Stanton missions while we continue to work on freight elevators throughout Alpha 4.3. It'll mean another month for folks.
There's the confirmation. I will have some more time to do it. That's great. I'll get to have all the fun times moving boxes.
To try to dethrone Hurston from the lead they hit so very early. For you to earn any of the individual rewards that are still outstanding, and for us to continue beating on freight elevators about the head and neck with the proverbial pipe along the way. And all while you continue your exploration of ASD's latest malpractices. And speaking of which, we've also made the decision to keep relatively quiet on Onyx Facilities and ISC and beyond. We do this to better let you investigate and discover things for yourself. But that doesn't mean there isn't more that August has to offer. So let's go ahead and use our remaining time this week to explore the other aspects of this new release in Patch Report Alpha 4.3.
Alright, so I understand why Mike put the title that he did. It makes sense. I'm not as bothered as I thought I would be, so that's kind of good.
For several years now, we've had these ground storms with rain and snow and whatnot, and those are sticking around for a while yet. But in Alpha 4.2, we continued to get our feet wet with the first iteration of dynamic rain. And now, 2 months later, in this release, we're continuing our climate campaign with the nascent version of dynamic snow, which leverages the same system to sleet the skies wherever the surrounding situation is sound. So, it's a small thing to let us avoid rain falling on snowy areas, but these incipient iterations will continue to develop both in gameplay and in its sights and sounds over subsequent releases. And meanwhile, in things you can wear and hold, almost every patch this year has had a new armor and weapon to discover. And in August, you'll find the new Specialist Light Stealth Armor. There are a few different variations floating around, including a neat ASD one, and this one from Wicklow. It's an interesting visor, but it does beg the question, with the blast shield down, how can I even see? How am I supposed to fight? To which the answer is, I probably shouldn't quote Star Wars, because Disney has lawyers.
And they are extremely litigious.
We've also got a new Volt weapon this month called the Zenith Sniper Rifle that, and let me read this text I have on the screen here from Zach, combines the raw punch of a charged sniper shot with the rapid-fire precision of a marksman rifle. Which doesn't sound OP as heck at all, Zach. Now, there are some notes here about how loud it'll be and how important managing heat is, because if you don't, it becomes essentially inoperable, like me. And it's the latest in this year's line of Volt weapons, and like all the others before it, you can be the judge if its advantages are worth the trade-offs. Also, hangar respawning returns.
Now, it's a sparse video of the sniper. It does seem pretty cool. Haven't tried it myself, so I don't know. Something to look forward to.
It's a small thing, but the ability to spawn directly into your personal hangar and get back into the fray should be a welcome one for anyone that's played the game for a while. Personal hangars are slowly becoming our first true homes in the verse, and this is yet another step in the right direction. Also another step in the right direction? Spawning ground vehicles from the freight elevators.
Oh, really?
Which is not coming in Alpha 4.3, but I've got a platform and I'm gonna use it to say everybody wants it, Benoit, and we're gonna...
Jared, that was not nice. I don't like that. You had me really excited for a second, and now you just dashed my hopes. Not cool. Not cool, Jared.
Find time to prioritize it for the schedule. After more fixes in the next couple months first.
Yeah, fix
Let's
the elevators.
move on to virtual currencies. Now this year we introduced Wicklow, the collector, and his emporium of esoteric effects. Not the actual name. And over the last couple months, we've seen vehicles new and old get added to his inventory as variants with unique paints and components. And that's great. Or at least it was once we killed the RNG thing.
Yay! There we go.
But what about the various ship shops?
That was a very positive.
Where's my Golem, the Fortune, the Guardians? Well, in Alpha 4.3, inventories are getting updated with many of the most recent ships that have been released. What this means is, while you can still pledge...
Okay, they're teasing a really cool looking skin here. You guys picking up on this, dare I say, cyber gray and gold? That looks pretty fresh. I like those.
The Guardians.
Well,
in Alpha 4.3, inventories are getting updated with many of the most recent ships that have been released. What this means is, while you can still pledge for ships to support the continuing development of Star Citizen, and you can still work for those fancy component variants of many with Wicklow, you should also be able to pursue the base versions of newer vehicles for AUEC, and in a more reasonable timetable from now on. It's our way of saying, yeah, we'll be better at this going forward. It was Tyler Waken's fault.
Ouch. So, I guess that means that ships will not have as long of an exclusivity period for the pledge store, and that they'll be available for AUEC in-game. That's definitely a positive move. Of course, I'm still a hardliner for let's stop selling ships, let's start selling paints. But it's a step in the right direction, and that's a positive thing.
And while we're talking about spaceships, starting back in May and continuing with each monthly patch after that, the Vehicle Experience team began the next wave of flight tuning adjustments for every ship in the verse, hitting most of the heavy and medium fighters and interceptor subclasses within. Now with Alpha 4.3, it's time for some light fighters to get their pass. This includes adjusting SCM and nav speeds to increase variation within the class, altering the linear and angular accelerations, adjusting health pools, and even swapping out some flight controller components. Now there's a whole list with details in the patch notes, but if you haven't flown your light fighter in a while, maybe give it a go this patch.
Yay, light fighter meta coming back.
And while we're talking about light fighters, what would a patch in 2025 be without brand new vehicles? And for August, we've got the long-awaited debut of the L-21 Wolf. It's sleek, it's slick, it's kind of like a cool spaceship Rorschach test. See, some people see a fancy hot rod, some people see a Supermarine Spitfire, and some people like me see a Naboo Starfighter.
All right.
But it's not. It's not Disney. It's the newest light fighter from Kruger Intergalactic, a brand previously known for Merlin and Archimedes,
that was good.
two ships who share the same names as characters in an old animated film about King Arthur from... Now you can learn more about it in our dedicated Behind the Ships episode, also available on YouTube.
Not Disney, of course.
And the L-21 Wolf will be flyable as soon as Alpha 4.3 releases.
First ship with a dick.
And lastly, let's go ahead and touch on this month's big content drop, the new Onyx facilities. Now this is a big swing from our environment, level design, mission, sound, and every other team that's worked on them. And that's why I'm not going to say a whole lot. Everyone here really wants you to just get in there and experience them for yourselves. And don't forget, this is our first multi-part release of the year. So we'll open up that third and final wing eventually, and you'll find out what Dr. Yor and ASD has really been up to. It's more than just worm torture, I can promise you that.
He's got a thing for worms.
Ultimately, this month, like this year, we'll continue to see Star Citizen pushing its development into lots of new directions. And, quite frankly, some are going to work better than others. Some are going to take us a bit to figure out. And some are going to be some of the best and most interesting content we've ever released. Alina Mine, Stormbreaker, Onyx facilities. I just want to shout out all the work everyone on Dev is doing to keep this year interesting and to continue improving the existing gameplay systems along the way. And then, of course, the continued engagement with the project from you, who are coming back month after month in record numbers to see where we're going next. And finally, if you are wondering why I'm at my desk, where I spend most of my day doing my other job behind the scenes that has little to do with ISC or SCL, there's this little thing called CitizenCon Direct coming up on October 11th. And the spaceship is currently locked down for the next 8 weeks filming for that. So be sure you check out the latest post on the Bar Citizen Global Watch Parties to find out where you can join our staff to watch it as it unfolds. For Inside Star Citizen, I'm Jared Huckabee. Thanks for listening to me yak about freight elevators for 5 minutes. And I was going to do a joke here at the end where I pretend to push a button and the elevator takes me down beneath my desk. But considering the work that we still have ahead of us in fixing them proper, it would probably go a little something like this. I'll just say we know what's left to do and we're on it. Thanks for watching. We'll see you next time.
I think he fell through the elevator. He's gone, guys. Oh, there might be a little bit here at the end. Maybe? No. Doesn't look like it. Cool. Let's talk about the elevator in the room. Yeah, I'll give that an update. So, let's take a look at the Kruger Wolf. Fly the Legacy. So, with the chrome and the tip-mounted motors and the sharp nose, you can definitely see the Nubian inspiration. It also gives me kind of a classic sci-fi 1950s, 1960s era vibe with how they're mounted. Like, I could see this coming out of a Buck Rogers serial, right? The nose is quite long for it to be just a Nubian ship. The cockpit's a little farther back. The tail's not quite as long. So, I mean, there's obvious differences between this and the N1 Starfighter, which is good because if Disney's lawyers are in fact looking at this, that's what's going to prevent CIG from getting sued. I know people have conflicting opinions about the rear. I like it. I think it reminds me a lot of hot rods, right? You'll have lots of chrome, and then you still have your supercharger poking through the top of the hood, right? Like, just look up Hot Rod. Not the movie, though. You know, this kind of aesthetic, right? So you do have exposed pipes and parts, and it has this kind of industrial element to it, but then it's also tied into these elegant chassis that it's bonded to. And hot rods have this kind of balance of industrial and brutal function over form, but then it also has parts of the car that still remain very formed and very beautiful. So that's what I think they're going for, and if that is the case, I think they nailed it. So I'm a fan of how it looks. It's not exactly a Naboo Starfighter because those would be much more sleek, and I am a little bummed in some respects that we're not getting that, but maybe down the road we'll see something more along those lines too. I am also a little bummed that it's another clearly bespoke weapon set. Bespoke weapons come with a lot of trade-offs because obviously you can't swap them out. You can't change the ship all that much as far as its fight characteristics. But it also means that while they can have very granular control over a particular ship by adjusting that specific ship's weapons, it very likely also means that it's going to be slower to happen. Right? Because we start adding all these things into the meta, it's going to take a while before a Kruger ship with bespoke weapons gets the consideration that it will need to be competent in its role. Right? So if it doesn't hit it day one out of the park, then it's going to be a while before it gets tuned into the right place. The cockpit, I think, looks really cool. I haven't seen these elements before, but those are pretty neat. Really does remind me a lot of the cockpit on the N1. You can see some very clear inspirations taken, right? Like, look at the joystick shape, man. It's pretty clear. Let's see if they have yellow. That would be very funny. Okay, they've got red, slightly off-white. Okay. Okay, they're playing it safe. No yellow. I mean, you get a splash of yellow there, so... But, I mean, come on. They need to do a yellow. Oh, wait. What's the price on this? So 90 USD as a war bond. So I'm glad it's not super expensive. You know, that's always a concern when they release a new ship, is that it's going to be like $200. It's only $90, so I can't believe I'm saying it's only $90. $90 is still a lot of money, especially to spend on a video game on one element, right? But it's not $200, so that is, it's good. It's good. We'll just be happy with it. Let's watch the video itself.
Before progress,
Oh, I haven't seen this one.
That
This
was
is a
classic.
commercial.
we say, why choose?
like the way the cockpit opens. That's pretty neat.
Put legacy in motion.
Impressive deal. Oh, it's like the one commercial. Except instead of being in the cutlass, now they're in the cruiser. Call back to one of the earlier, really early.
Introducing Kruger L21 Wolf. Perfection in every piece.
Schlag says, I'll call 90 just fine considering other light fighters are in the range. Yeah, like I'm thinking of like the Gladius, same deal. I think that's like $90 too. It's a lot considering it doesn't get you game access, but for SC Pledge, I'll call it fair. So here's my thought. Why doesn't every ship just come with game access? Like, if you have multiple access passes, then I don't think they should stack. I think you just get the one with your first purchase, and then everything after that just doesn't take effect. But if you have a ship in your account, you should have access. That's my feeling. I do really like the style. Yeah. I disagree with you, Mr. Aero Capital Fellow, on the dorsal fin. I do actually like it. I know that makes me weird. I'm a weird guy. What can I say? Let me actually pull up what I think is their inspiration. Thought I was typing. I wasn't. And let's see, I'm gonna have to like play this on mute if I can find a proper video showing it. I don't want the Lego version though. I want the movie clip. There, getting some references in there. Let's see. Whatever. Let's just do it this way. General Grievous Starfighter. I wish I could just find the clip I was looking for, because it shows perfectly what I think they were going for. But if you look at this picture, right, General Grievous's ship does have that same kind of dorsal fin. And in the movie, you see that get deployed after Obi-Wan takes off in it. So I think that was probably a very strong inspiration. If you look at the styling of this ship, you can see how the L21 Wolf kind of lands in between this and the N1 Starfighter. Right? So, you know, some people are a little upset it's not fully Naboo. I get that. But I think that they were going for a blend there, and I think it pulls it off. I quite like the way the ship looks. When landed, it looks like it's trying to be a tail dragger aircraft. Yeah, and see, that's where my concern does come in. I can say with a fairly high level of certainty that tail is going to get snapped off many times. But I also don't know that that's necessarily a bad thing. Right? Like, ships should have trade-offs. And you should be careful when you land your ship. You shouldn't be landing it on its tail. But let's watch this video. They talk about the development.
I would describe Kruger as beautiful, bold.
It does retract for landing, but I don't think that's going to work consistently. I think there's probably going to be a bug during its first patch where it's going to get stuck out. Much the same way that, like when you run across NPC Scorpius pilots, a lot of times the wings will be retracted. Or, you know, there's a lot of issues with moving parts on ships currently where they don't always do the thing that they're supposed to do. Right, so I'm calling it now. I bet that there's going to be a bug where it doesn't retract properly for the first patch, and that's going to cause issues. But then it's also going to be an issue if you are landing but you're not deploying your feet soon enough.
Bold and elegant, not afraid to make a statement.
Unlike Origin, Kruger ships have a certain retro feel to them, but still feel upmarket.
Smack into the ground. People are going to fly.
The L21 is a light fighter designed to be fast, agile, and nimble.
I just think that it will cause
the trade-off is
some
that you
people
have to take extra care when getting into battle. You can't take the hits. You have to avoid them.
When I first saw the concept, I thought this is really amazing, and I can't wait to work on it. It looks also very challenging because of the swooping shapes and the difficult surfaces.
Instead of kind of having layered surfaces like a lot of other Star Citizen ships have, the surfaces are very clean, very smooth.
The direction for the ship was to make it sleek, aerodynamic, and aggressive.
The exterior of the ship has the silhouette of a Spitfire, but it looks a lot more resto modern and futuristic.
We definitely looked at a lot of World War II aircraft, and that's kind of where the influence came from. The tail is shorter, so it has this very aggressive, nose pointing upward stance when it's landed.
Which I actually really like the stance of when it's landed. I don't think that was a controversial thing at all. Most of the ships in Star Citizen, though, they do land very flat, right? Like, they are level with the ground when they land. But if you look at a lot of the older planes that this does take some inspiration from, like the Spitfire, they lean back pretty far before takeoff. And, I mean, you'll still see that with even some fighter jets. Right, it's less common nowadays with the more modern ones, but if you look back at World War II planes, they're all going to kind of sit in this stance, and I think it's good to have a little bit of variety. Apparently, if you flew somewhere, got out of the ship, and someone else flew away with it, the server would despawn the world around you, almost like your character location was tied to the ship. Wow, that is an impressive bug. Huh. Well, you gotta fix that.
Feels like an animal waiting to pounce.
And that's why she's called the Wolf.
Yeah, they leaned it back for prop clearance. And those
The engine assaults on the wings,
engines.
I think, create a very nice silhouette, especially from the top. I'm also very, very happy with the form language that we managed to do on it. We decided to expose a lot of greebling. We decided to expose a lot of the engine itself.
It's primarily pipes. The heat travels down it, and it really promotes how strong that the ship actually is. It highlights the grace of the ship.
The vehicle has two size-full Gatlins. It can gimbal 5 degrees
I do
in all
like
directions.
the animation, but I'm not
You have
such
4
a fan of it
missiles
when it
in
comes
the
with
left wing,
bespoke weapons.
and you have 4 missiles in the right wing.
I'm very happy with the deploy animation of the weapons. That's something that not really any other ship does to this extent, where we have the weapons completely hidden in the fuselage, which creates a very, very smooth package.
And it would be kind of cool if more ships did have something like that.
The cockpit's a really handy
the
place to
weapons,
be.
but not
As you'll
use.
see when you look out from the ship, you have great visibility from the left, the right, and ahead of you.
I just love the cockpit. It just looks so slick.
And there's not a single
The
bar
dash
going across
is
it.
such a strong shape. I've not seen the shape.
But here's what I'll say. I do think that the main focal point should be tilted up so that you're not staring at the hood of the ship.
Before in any of the other ships.
You'll notice in between your legs a brand new clock, which I believe is the first that we've implemented in a vehicle.
Are you happy with the clock?
Yeah, the clock looks great. It looks like a Swiss timepiece that's in between your legs, just so you can keep track of server time.
You have to stop saying in between your legs.
Oh yeah, the fin. The fin was a idea I kind of had when I noticed from certain angles, especially the nose, kind of had some shapes reminiscent of a boat. So I was kind of thinking it might be interesting to add something like a keel, also just to make the silhouette a bit more interesting, especially when looked at from the side. And it's
And
also,
I
once
like
again,
the
something
keel.
that I don't really think any
I
other
like
ship
that it
at
breaks
this
up
point
the silhouette a
has,
little
and it
bit.
just adds to there being a transition from landed mode to flight mode.
This vehicle is for somebody who wants a nice, sleek, elegant design.
People who are into sports cars, I hope they will appreciate the surfacing on the ship. I hope people who like retro sci-fi will appreciate the big engine nacelles on the wingtips. I hope everyone likes it.
It's very unique. There's currently no other ship that looks like it.
Is it your favorite ship you've worked on so far?
Yes, it's my favorite ship. I love the ship. It gave me a lot of headache, but
I think the team that I worked with was really cool, and I think the ship turned out really epic, and I think you should fly it.
I feel like they're kind of guilting me into flying this ship. But it is a cool ship. I do like the look. I'm not angry at that. Look, I already left a comment. No one liked it. No one liked my comment, guys. I'm gonna like it. I have no shame. No one's gonna know unless they watch this stream. And that's 2 people right now. Yeah, the first ship to get customization with a clock was a 300 series, not this ship. So but that is our video coverage for today. $90 I think is a fair price for a ship. Free is better, and not being able to buy it is best. But we're not there yet. So I want to see if there's anything interesting in the dev tracker. There was something on about the Q&A, right? I thought I saw something. Anywho, let's move on. Let's get on to the real meat and potatoes of tonight. Again, I'm going to leave that up because I've still got quite a bit of reading to do on the manual for my new car. I did get my computer working again, so we are actually able to play the Battlefield 6 open beta. You're not going to see my first game today. I did play a little bit over last weekend, had a lot of fun. So far, I am really liking the beta. It reminds me a lot of the good old days playing Battlefield 3 and 4, and I think that they've hit a really nice stride with how the game feels so far. I've seen a lot of people talking both positively and negatively about the idea of having a battle pass in this game. I'm for it. I know that might not make me popular with everybody, but the thing is studios are expecting to make money somehow after the release of the game, right? And so what we really have a choice is we have a choice of how they're going to monetize the game. We can let them do microtransactions, or we can pick something else, right? One of the games that I was really bummed did not do well was Battlefront 2, and it did loot boxes. And it had loot boxes out the wazoo. And that is ultimately what killed the game. If you play it today, actually a really good game. And it had a little bit of a resurgence recently where people were realizing that. But it was too little too late. People were already so sick of the game by the time that it had really hit its stride. Because of these loot boxes, it just never had a chance. If you go back further, though, remember to like the days of Halo Reach, you had map packs, right? That was another microtransaction. That was not that was not just a freebie that you got. Nowadays, you do get the maps for free, quote unquote. They want to keep you playing, so they release maps for free and you pay for other stuff, right? But when you did have to pay for map packs, what that really did is it split the player base, because you would have the have-nots and those that did have the maps, right? So for me, I made very bad financial decisions as a kid, and I always bought the map packs, and then I was always bummed because I didn't get to play them whenever I wanted to play with my friends, because they didn't get the map packs. So I ended up playing the same game in essence, because I never really got to use the map packs anyways. So we went from doing map packs to loot boxes. Now we have battle passes, and that's kind of become the standard for games across the board. And I think that that is probably the lesser of all the evils that microtransactions do tend to be. The stuff in the battle pass, it's usually all strictly cosmetics, or maybe it's an XP boost. You know, those things do not impact the experience of another player. And so I don't think that those are necessarily a bad thing. I think it becomes a problem, though, when your game starts to look like what Call of Duty is today, where you have Roger and American Dad, Nicki Minaj, Snoop Dogg, Beavis and Butthead. Like, there are some ridiculous skins in Call of Duty. And so far, they've said that they do not want to do that with this game. They want to keep it looking gritty and militaristic. Now, they have this up, which is kind of interesting. Let's see. Let's just take a look at the pre-order bonus right now. Come on, where is it? So these look fine. For my taste, probably pushing it a little here. Yeah, I see. This is the part where I do start to get a little worried, because I don't think that there's a military out there right now that's going to be wearing a bright red indicator to say, "Here we are, shoot at us." So this does make me a little nervous. Like, this, they look cool. I don't think that they're too over the top, but it's a fine line between what's going to look cool and what's going to look stupid. And Call of Duty crossed that line a long time ago. I don't want to see Battlefield do the same thing. But enough jibber jabber. Let's play the game. Actually, hold on. Sorry, I lied. I got to make sure that my mouse and keyboard settings are right. Let's see. Oh wait, no. crap. I can't, like, not move the mouse. Okay, hold on. Hold on. What's going on? I had to reinstall G-Hub, and it keeps fighting me on stuff. Yeah, so page up, page down. Oh, okay, that's what I did. Okay. So it's already set to G. That's probably why it's not liking it. So let's just hold escape to clear that. And then where's melee? Bind anyway. Okay, yeah, there we go. If that's paired with toggle scope, I think that'll be fine because that's contextual. It won't work if I'm in a scope, so that should be fine. Let's keep those page up and page down. Yeah, this should be good, I think, for getting me started. That looks good. Sprint looks good. All right, yeah, I think we're good now. Take a look at our challenges while that's loading. Reach career rank 10. I'm running a little behind. I'm at rank 5. Get 10 kills within 10 meters with the assault class. They do have a nice assortment of things you can earn. Not a whole lot of challenges added for week 2. So we can still get all this stuff. Most of it is just going to be grinding through, so not too bad. It's taken a minute to find a match. What's going on, guys? There we go. And, you know, I really liked Battlefield 3. I played it on the Xbox. And one of the things that it really did miss out on was map detail. I felt like a lot of the maps in Battlefield 3 were very plain looking. Didn't mean that they were bad, it just meant that they weren't very exciting to look at. It was a lot of the same style of building tiled across a map. They've gotten a lot better with recent Battlefields and making that better. Oh, that's already full. Okay, half my squad is AFK. Off to a great start. Let's go take D. I feel like that's going to be some easy points for us. Haven't played this map before. Am I not capturing it? Oh, shoot. Okay, so you got to stay ground level. I'm glad I realized that. I don't want the enemy to have too much time to get over here before I capture this thing. Heh. Oh. Oh. They came in from behind. Heard from friends that the Battlefield 6 maps feel too small. They do feel smaller than other Battlefield games, but one of the issues with 2042 was the maps felt way too big, even with 128 players. So I would gladly take this over that any day. Okay, that was dumb. Like I said, guys, I'm not good at these games. I just play them. Though I also don't know, like, when people watch streamers, is it because they're, like, really consistently good, or is it just because they like the personality? Because I always catch, like, highlights from people, and it's like, okay, well, I'm definitely not that good. Man, there's a little bit of screen shake from that vehicle being nearby. Kind of a cool detail. Lost visual. Reload. Okay, gonna... Well, I'm definitely not one of those categories. They're personality and the spectacle. Some people watch to learn from the skill, while others enjoy the personality. Well, hopefully I just have oodles of personality then. If I can have enough personality, it can make up for being dog water at games, right? Okay, alright. I'm moving on you, Dr. Fish Door. Move up. Oh my gosh. He got both of us. I feel like... Nope, I deserve that. I'll take it. I earned that. Okay, I want to move on C. You enjoy my engineering takes on items. Okay, so I talked about this last time, or last stream that we did, because this sight is in like every first-person shooter now, and I hate it. I use it, for one, because it's one of the first ones you earn in this game, so might as well. But for two, it does give you really good visibility, but it is a horrible sight. This thing would not last a day in any serious combat. It's so fragile, it's just waiting to pop a lens and fall apart. So there's an engineering take on an item. I hate this thing. I do like chevron sights, though. Okay, thank you, tank. I can move up a little bit. Ooh, sneaky little kill there. See that tracking? That was phenomenal tracking. Oh, and I didn't check the windows. I hate the triangle so much. I hate the ACOG triangle so much. Used to crosses, lol. So I like the triangle because I know how to use them a little bit on real rifles. On my personal AR, I have a Sig Romeo sight. It has a chevron center dot coupled with a, I think it's like a 30 MOA circle. And so I understand that it gives you an infinitely precise point, and like I get that. You know, that part makes sense to me. What I don't like, though, is when a reticle is too big. I like very precise, fine etched reticles. Like this looks good to me. I don't mind the reticle on this. The winglets on the side are a little extra. I don't think they really add a whole lot, and they just make it a little more cluttered. Okay. So there's got to be a guy in this area trying to respawn. I wonder where he's at. It's probably trying to give himself a vantage point over D, I would guess. Might just be dead. Okay, that doesn't go up any further. All right. What I do think is a very egregious sin for optics on rifles and weapons is when the optic is clearly not up to the task on durability. And I feel like that's definitely the case with this kind of monocle sight. I'm just not a fan. It's a good game sight because game sights don't suffer the same kinds of hazards that real sights do. But that doesn't make it a good sight. Okay, no, like, high vaulting, I don't think. Oh, he went up. He came in from behind. He came in from above. Good play. I got 2.5 kills that life, so not terrible. 69%, nice. I'm gonna sit here and loiter a bit. I want to claim this. They're doing fine losing without me. How is it already taken? I call shenanigans. Oh well. I can be the co-pilot. I can be the co-pilot. Okay. They have a much better vibrator figure. Is that a twist on the fact they had the faster trigger finger? Is that what we're getting at? That seems like a skill that anyone should want to, cultivate a little bit. Be the most popular guy at the club. As long as it's consensual. thought I saw someone moving that. I did! This is not a good spot, dude. We are open on all sides. Let's move out of here, please. Oh my gosh. What are we doing, guys? Overheated, crap. Oh my gosh, he got himself stuck, didn't he? Well, I kind of called it. That was not a good spot to sit around. We were very exposed. I'm gonna sit here and I want an IFV for myself. Come on, spawn a little faster though, would you? I'm spamming the click. That has to be what they were doing before when they sniped it from me. Hallelujah! Whoa, why does it keep doing that? I'm not pressing the camera button. There. I want that sight line open. Alright, so here's the not zoomed in camera. About what you'd expect. Turret speed is a little slow. Okay, got a kill there. Nice. Okay, let's move up on D. Who dares shoot at me? Okay, the turret does some weird things in third person. Oh, I got that guy with a direct hit. That was good. Is that the one that we just left? Okay, there we go. Nice kill there. Feel like I'm getting a hit marker there. Got another one. All right. So I did still die, but hey, let's look at how many kills I got compared to the other guy. So, hope you guys learned. That's how you do it. No, I couldn't save him. Oh, that was almost a triple. Come get me again. Thank you. Oh, what a stud that guy is. A proper medic he is. Yeah, there's no way we win this game. This team was not feeling the objectives. I bet I'm probably towards the top of the leaderboard for this match for objectives, and I only got like 2. Let's see. Yep, here I am. Oh, I got 3. I was being too hard on myself. Look at that. And it does give you the option to stay with your squad. It's an opt-in thing. So you opt out by default. Okay, got a few close calls there, I guess. Or close quarter kills there. Makes sense. Let's see. Is there a way to change your loadouts while you're waiting for the next one? Because I know you can do it while you're in a match. It's kind of weird to not give you the option here. It looks like General Grievous. That's kind of cool. But I don't see that there is that option. So you either exit to menu, and then you have to deal with loading again, or you do it in the match, which is not super cool to do. Okay, how are people spawning in vehicles? Where's all my peeps going? I'm on you, rat rubber. Where are we going? We going to A? Let's go get A. Beware the flattery, maybe? Oh my gosh! He's nasty! Oh, and then died. I got 2 of them there. There's a lot of folks there. Holy cow, they want that flag. They are coming for A. I've got you, man! Don't die on me! As soon as I got him up. Ah. Come get me, Rat Rubber! He's running away. Alright, you and me, Rat Rubber. Let's get this. Let me spawn on him. Let me save my brother. Sorry, I let you down. Saw a guy over here. Where'd he go? Ooh! Through the fire and the flames. Got him, but other guy got me. Thank you, Rat Rubber. I feel like the Battlefield devs run the reticle sights a little low power. I like to run my reticles a little brighter on my personal optics. If it's not searing my retinas, I don't think that they're on. That was a lot of people. I put some bullets in some of them. I think I'm doing better with assault. Let's do that. All right, you and me, Rat Rubber. Let's get the Russians. That's who we're fighting, right? How cool would it be if I just, like, lob that nade and get a kill? Nope. Oh! Oh, there's 2 of them there. That's... Oh, wait. No, it does, like, the ghost image. That's right. Okay, that one's gonna get a kill. Okay, got one. This game doesn't have lean like previous Battlefields have had. Oh, he ran this way. Okay, let's go this way. Okay, I don't think they're chasing. I've got you, Rat Rubber! Oh, there's this guy too. Do a good turn daily. He got me. I got him. He got me. There's so many guys on that. Holy cow. Holy. Alright, where'd my buddy Rat Rubber go? You have any buddies here? It seems to have maybe a little bit of a contextual lean. It's subtle. Okay, I think they must have gotten that guy. Oh. Should have been just a little more patient and I would have had that guy looking out the door. Unlucky, brother. Unlucky, you dropped right in front of me. Oh, got an enemy flash. Where's he at? Game lied. I don't see any enemies there. Unless they're like up there. Can't really get up there though. Where's Rat Rubber? No, Rat Rubber's down! Oh. I don't know. I guess he could see me. Somehow I couldn't see him. Let's keep B under our control. No, where's B? Didn't I spawn on B? What? I think I call a little bit of shenanigans on that. Okay, they're not coming back. Let's go for A. Where's that guy going? He's not going to A. Yeah. We want A, man. Okay, where's the stairs up? I hear shots, which means there's That was one of the tank mines, wasn't it? My squad has left me behind. Let's try and move towards them. I don't like this. I'm stuck. I'm kind of stuck. Okay, move this way. I'm helping. I got to revive. I'm a good Battlefield player. Bring him back here. All right, your turn, Alexis. Where you at? Yay! He got me. You let me down. You let me down, Alexis. How many times did I gather you? But we are winning this match, so, you know, we have that going for us. Wow, my brain took so long to process what was happening there. Where is C? Sick. Okay, there's no one that can revive me. Go ahead and respawn. Looks like maybe some heat on E. Where's he at? Oh. Fair enough. What was that? Oh, that's what that was. That fatal headshot, I think, is a pretty neat perk for Recon. And it makes those sniper kills feel a little more rewarding because you know it's going to take them a little longer to come back. let me die, rubber. Well, I'm still managing to go positive, so that's not terrible. How low is he? 80? Dang. We've easily got this win, though, so... Snuck in at the last minute. Okay, where is C? They have quite the spawn radius around these flags. Okay, that's right. There's no tactical sprint in this game. Whew. We got it. Got the W. Six captures that round, so not bad. Okay, got myself some more accolades for that. Cool. All right, let's try a different game type. That's 2 rounds of conquest. Feels pretty good. And let's play with the loadout a little bit. So I unlocked a new one of these. That gives me more control. Seems like it's just better overall compared to this. And then what does this do? A bit more control and precision, but at the cost of mobility. That's fine. That seems like a fair trade to me. 20 round fast mag. You can increase the mobility, but you lose ammo. Or 40 round mag at some point. Huh. Standard issue magazine with mag pull for faster reloads. It's interesting that the standard mag seems to be more on mobility, but then this does decrease the reload time a little bit. I like how they've kept everything very clear with the UI. That's a positive move. I got 2.5, 5. Holy cow, that's a big site. 4x. Let's take a look at what this looks like. I mean, it's a holographic site. Let's see this one. So this is a 2x site. Let's try rolling with it. Let's try this one for a round. We got ergonomics. Got a match trigger that we can add. I don't think that one's worth it. And then this is a hip fire laser that is not visible, while this one is visible. Alright, let's leave it like that. Ooh, I have an SGX. Oh wait, no. Okay. There we go. Here's the assault rifles. Oh, whoops. No, that's not what I wanted to do. G36 variant. M433. Oh, I've been throwing flash nades this whole time. I thought I was... Okay, let's put a frag on that. And the shotgun is actually really powerful, so let's keep that. How are we doing on our challenges? We need quite a few more kills within 10 meters for the assault class. What's all-out warfare? Is that like a mix? Oh yeah, conquest, breakthrough, or rush. Let's try some close quarters. I think this is like TDM, basically. Yeah, squad deathmatch. All right. Okay, probably here. Nice reflections. Oh! Whew! That was 3 in rapid succession. That was not bad. Cleared these guys out. I don't know how that one got missed. Okay, trade, fair. Ooh, I like that blue laser. Okay, revive him. This room is crazy. So much going on. Did I get 2 there? Crazy. Okay, we don't want to stay in that room, buddy. That room is a death trap. Oh, okay. Fair enough. Got me. Look at that, though. 13 and 3. I'm killing it, man. Can I redeploy, please? Terminate? What do you mean? That didn't make sense. I didn't spawn. Oh, I should have just pulled the trigger. Give me rangies, bro. The drag while reviving is really cool. I like that a lot. Oh, man. Okay, that is such a rough series of spawns. Holy cow. They had to nerf me. I was doing too good. Oh, I see the feats. Come on. See, and you can like prone and drag them too. Are they just behind me? Yep. Bro, we were right here. We could have revived you. Why you gotta be like that? Not far enough. I'm not here. You can't see me. That was so lucky. Oh, last bullet. Dang. Ah, we were close. Yeah, look at that. Top 3. Look at me. Nice. I like it. Let's take a look at those, I guess. I think I just got the blue laser. It's kind of neat. Oh, nice. I like it.